It's not just the state that was getting ready today. Relief groups here in the Mid-Ohio Valley are also stepping up ahead of the weather. As today's storms move toward the Mid-Ohio Valley, the American Red Cross says it was already ahead of it. Ohio River Valley Red Cross Executive Director Sharon Kesselring says her chapter was briefed by the National Weather Service early this morning, giving crews time to check shelter lists, secure supplies, and make sure vehicles and volunteers were ready to move. Kesselring says that kind of readiness never really stops for the Red Cross. Preparation is constant, storm or no storm. But she says one part of that readiness is running thin. The number of trained volunteers ready to respond and staff a shelter when a disaster actually hits.
Emergency response is one of the things we are lacking in volunteers for. It takes, for instance, 12 people to run a shelter for a 24-hour period, 6 per 12-hour shift. And in order for us to have that many volunteers, we need a lot of help.
Kesselring says signing up is simple. Just visit redcross.org/CAR, where volunteer services staff walk applicants through training and a background check. She adds that the region is also in the middle of an emergency blood shortage and is urging everyone eligible to make an appointment at the Red Cross Fixed site on Dudley Avenue.